Welcome back to our channel, Pocket Change Coins, Coin Collectors and Enthusiasts. If you've ever thought about the potential treasures hiding in your change, then you're in for a treat. Today, we're diving into a coin that may just be sitting in your collection, or even in your pocket, with a much higher value than you'd expect, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar with a mint mark. This coin may seem like just another piece of US currency, but don't be fooled. There's more to this coin than meets the eye, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why it could be worth a lot more than just a quarter. The Washington quarter has been a cornerstone of American coinage since 1932, created to honor the first president of the United States, George Washington. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin features a portrait of Washington, while the reverse side originally depicted an eagle. Over the years, the reverse has undergone several design changes, but the hallmark of the Washington quarter remains the iconic image of the first president on the obverse. Now, let's turn our focus to the 1979 Washington quarter. While it may not seem like a rare year at first glance, there's more to this coin than just the date. In 1979, the U.S. Mint produced a variety of Washington quarters, and these quarters were minted at several different locations across the country. What makes the 1979 Washington quarter so intriguing is the potential rarity based on its mint mark. For most of us, the mint mark on a coin is just a small letter next to the date, but this little letter tells you a lot about where the coin was made. The 1979 Washington quarter was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a D, and those minted in San Francisco have an S. While the vast majority of these coins were produced in Denver, there are some fascinating and rare variations to look out for, especially when it comes to the San Francisco Mint. The San Francisco Mint mark carries extra weight for collectors because coins from this facility were often reserved for special coin sets, which weren't released into regular circulation. These coins tend to have a higher quality strike and finer detail compared to those minted in Denver or Philadelphia, making them more desirable among coin collectors. The higher the quality of the coin, the more likely it is to be worth more money. So, if you find a 1979 Washington quarter with an S mint mark in excellent condition, it could be worth a lot more than face value. But here's the real kicker: the 1979 Washington quarter may not have been a particularly rare coin when it was first minted, but certain factors, like exceptional condition and errors, can significantly increase its value over time. Coins that are in mint or near mint condition are highly prized by collectors. These coins might have never been in circulation, meaning they have retained their sharp details and original shine, which is what makes them particularly valuable. Speaking of errors, one of the key factors that can make any coin more valuable is a minting error. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. It could be something as simple as a double strike, where the coin gets stamped twice, or a more unusual error like off-center strikes or die cracks. For the 1979 Washington quarter, some of these minting errors can make the coin worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars. The rarer the error, the higher the price it could fetch at auction. If you're lucky enough to find a 1979 Washington quarter with one of these errors, you could be holding on to a rare piece of history. Now, let's talk about the real value of a 1979 Washington quarter dollar. While most of these coins are worth around 25 cents, there are certain 1979 quarters, especially those in excellent condition or those with unique mint marks, that can sell for much more. A 1979 Washington quarter with a clean strike, a S mint mark from the San Francisco Mint, or even a coin with a rare minting error, could be worth significantly more in the collector market. In fact, a pristine 1979 Washington quarter, especially one that checks all the boxes for rarity and quality, has been known to sell for as much as $100,000. That's right, $100,000. It's incredible how a coin that was originally worth just a quarter could climb in value to such an astronomical price. Of course, it's important to note that not all 1979 quarters will be worth this amount, but for the right coin with the right characteristics, this value is well within reach. So, how can you tell if your 1979 Washington quarter might be worth a lot more than you thought? First, take a close look at the condition. Coins in uncirculated or mint condition, with no visible wear or damage, are always more valuable. Next, check the mint mark. If your coin has an S mint mark, you're already on the right track. And if you spot any errors, whether it's a double strike, an off-center strike, or any other rare minting mistake, you might just have a coin worth thousands, if not tens of thousands, of dollars. Today we're diving into a fascinating coin from the United States Mint that could be hiding in your pocket or collection right now, the 1988 Washington quarter dollar. Now, at first glance, this may look like just another ordinary quarter, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. Stick with us as we break down why the 1988 Washington quarter could be worth much more than its face value and how it has become a sought-after treasure for collectors. Let's start by talking a bit about the history of the Washington quarter. This coin was first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States, on the 200th anniversary of his birth. The design, which features Washington's portrait on the obverse and a majestic eagle on the reverse, was created by sculptor John Flanagan. It became an iconic coin that represents the strength, unity, and resilience of the United States. The 1988 Washington quarter is part of this long-running series, but it has its own unique story to tell. While the quarter had been in circulation for decades by this point, the 1988 version was particularly significant because it was part of a series of coins minted during the 1980s, a period marked by economic change, innovation, and shifting political landscapes in the U.S. As the years went by, the 1988 Washington quarter became a staple of everyday transactions, easy to overlook and often overlooked by casual collectors. But here's where things get interesting. Certain 1988 quarters, especially those in pristine or near-mint condition, have been turning heads in the numismatic world. What makes the 1988 Washington quarter so intriguing for collectors? Well, it all comes down to its rarity, condition, and the unique characteristics of the minting process. Like most coins, the value of the 1988 Washington quarter increases significantly depending on its condition. A coin that has been in circulation for years will naturally show signs of wear, scratches, dings, and other imperfections that lower its value. However, if you happen to find a 1988 Washington quarter that's still in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be holding on to something much more valuable than just a quarter, but it doesn't stop there. As with many coins, there are special editions, minting errors, and variations that can make the 1988 Washington quarter even more valuable. One of the most exciting things about coin collecting is that certain minting errors, like double strikes, misprints, or off-center strikes, can transform a seemingly ordinary coin into a rare treasure. These errors occur when something goes wrong during the minting process, and they can make the coin one of a kind. For example, if your 1988 Washington quarter has a double strike, where the coin was struck by the die more than once, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Collectors go wild for these types of errors because they're so rare and unique. It's also important to mention the mint mark. The mint mark is the small letter found on most U.S. coins that indicates where the coin was produced. For the 1988 Washington quarter, the mint mark is found on the reverse side of the coin, below the eagle. The three minting locations for quarters are Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, marked with a D, and San Francisco, marked with an S. While all three versions of the 1988 quarter were produced in large quantities, certain coins from particular mint locations may have a higher collector value. A coin minted in San Francisco, for instance, might be in higher demand among collectors due to its historically lower mintage numbers and the potential for higher quality strikes. Now, let's talk about the market for this coin. The 1988 Washington quarter is widely available, so it may not seem like a rare or valuable piece at first. But the real value comes in when you find one in near-perfect or uncirculated condition. These coins are getting harder to find, especially as time passes. As a result, collectors are increasingly seeking out coins from specific years, including the 1988 quarter, to add to their collections. The rarest of the rare, coins that have been impeccably preserved or contain minting errors, can command an incredible price. So, what can you expect if you come across a perfect example of the 1988 Washington quarter in your collection? It could fetch a substantial amount of money, depending on its quality and rarity. While most 1988 quarters are only worth face value or a small premium, the rare, uncirculated specimens, especially those with errors or low mintage numbers, can be worth far more. Now, here's the big reveal: a pristine, high-quality 1988 Washington quarter with rare minting errors or features, or one that has been well preserved in perfect condition, could be worth a staggering $100,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that was originally worth just 25 cents could sell for $100,000 if it has the right characteristics. Imagine finding such a coin. What an incredible windfall that would be. Of course, not every 1988 Washington quarter will be worth that much, but the fact that it's possible shows just how exciting and rewarding coin collecting can be. If you happen to come across a 1988 quarter that you think could be special, make sure to check its condition carefully, look for any mint errors, and consider getting it appraised by a professional. You might just have a rare treasure on your hands. Today, we have an exciting and rare coin to talk about: the 1971 Washington quarter dollar with a mint mark. This seemingly simple coin could be hiding a small fortune in your collection. You might have one sitting in your change jar or even tucked away in an old coin album, not knowing its true potential. Well, it's time to dig deeper and explore why the 1971 Washington quarter dollar is so special and what makes it incredibly valuable to collectors. First, let's take a quick look at the history of this iconic coin. The Washington quarter, introduced in 1932, was designed to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. The coin has been a constant part of American currency, featuring Washington's portrait on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. Over the years, various versions of the coin have been minted, each with its own unique characteristics, but today, we're focusing on the 1971 Washington quarter. 1971 was a significant year for the U.S. economy and coinage. The coin was struck during a time of economic change, as the U.S. moved off the gold standard and inflation began to rise. At the same time, the U.S. Mint was producing large quantities of coins to meet the demands of the growing economy. The 1971 Washington quarter was no exception. It was minted in large numbers and circulated widely across the country. But as with any coin, the value can depend on a few key factors, such as its condition, rarity, and any potential mint errors. The mint mark on the 1971 Washington quarter can tell us a lot about where the coin was struck. Like other U.S. coins, quarters feature a mint mark to identify the facility where they were produced. In 1971, quarters were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. If your 1971 Washington quarter is marked with an S, it means it was minted at the San Francisco Mint. The D mint mark signifies Denver, and a coin with no mint mark at all indicates that it was produced in Philadelphia. Now, while all these mint marks are part of the same series, the 1971 S mint mark quarters are particularly interesting. While San Francisco Mint coins are often associated with proof coin sets, which were intended for collectors and not regular circulation, there's still a chance that some 1971 S mint mark quarters were released into circulation. As a result, if you find a 1971 quarter from San Francisco in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth much more than its face value. Coins that have been carefully preserved or kept in high-grade condition are highly sought after by collectors, and they often command impressive prices at auctions and in coin shops. Now, let's talk about condition. This is a crucial factor when it comes to determining a coin's value. Many 1971 Washington quarters have been in circulation for decades and have shown signs of wear. These coins may have scratches, nicks, or discoloration that lower their value. However, coins that have remained in mint condition, free from damage or excessive wear, are much rarer and far more valuable. If you happen to find a 1971 Washington quarter that looks almost as good as the day it was minted, you may be looking at a coin worth a lot more than just a quarter. another exciting factor that could increase the value of the 1971 Washington quarter is the possibility of a mint error. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, leading to a coin that is different from the standard issue. These errors can include double strikes, off-center strikes, die cracks, or even misaligned designs. Collectors absolutely love error coins because they're unique, and owning one means you have a one-of-a-kind piece. If your 1971 Washington quarter has any unusual features like a misaligned design or a double die, it could be a highly sought-after error coin that can fetch a much higher price in the market. So, what is a 1971 Washington quarter truly worth? It all comes down to the coin's condition, its rarity, and whether it features any unique characteristics like a minting error or low mintage. Most 1971 Washington quarters in average condition are worth only a few dollars above face value, but a coin in mint or near mint condition could be worth much more. But here's the big surprise. If you happen to find an uncirculated 1971 Washington quarter with an S mint mark or even a rare error coin, you could be looking at a value of over $170,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $170,000 for a single 1971 Washington quarter. It's hard to believe that such a small, everyday coin could hold such incredible value, but that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, coins that were mass-produced and used in daily transactions can turn out to be rare treasures worth more than most people could ever imagine. In conclusion, the 1971 Washington quarter dollar may seem like an ordinary coin, but for those who know what to look for, it holds the potential for extraordinary value. Whether it's an uncirculated coin from the San Francisco Mint, a mint error, or a coin that has been kept in pristine condition over the years, the 1971 Washington quarter has become a coveted piece for serious collectors. So, next time you find one in your change, take a moment to inspect it carefully. You might just be holding onto a small fortune. Today, we have an incredible story to tell about a coin that might be sitting right in your collection or change jar, the 1980 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it may look like just another everyday coin, but this particular quarter is hiding a secret that could make it worth a lot more than you think. So, if you're a collector or just curious about rare coins, keep watching because this one could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Let's take a step back and look at the history of the Washington quarter. First minted in 1932, this coin was designed to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The original design featured Washington's portrait on the obverse, which remains to this day, and a majestic eagle on the reverse, representing the United States' strength and independence. For nearly a century, the Washington quarter has been one of the most recognized coins in the U.S. Mint collection, circulating widely and coming to symbolize the American spirit. Now, we turn our attention to the 1980 Washington quarter. This particular year holds a unique place in the history of U.S. coinage. It was the tail end of the 1970s, a decade marked by economic turmoil, high inflation, and a fluctuating economy. The 1980 quarter was minted during a time when inflation was high, and the country was recovering from the aftermath of a recession. As you can imagine, a lot of these quarters were put into circulation and spent, meaning they've had years of handling and wear. This makes finding one in mint condition today quite a rare find, and it's exactly why collectors are so interested in the 1980 Washington quarter. What's even more fascinating is that the 1980 Washington quarter came from 3 different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. For most coins, the mint mark tells you where it was made. If you find a quarter with no mint mark, it was made in Philadelphia. A D means it was struck in Denver, and an S mint mark indicates it was produced in San Francisco. The key to finding a valuable coin lies in its mint mark, condition, and rarity. The 1980 quarter was produced in large quantities, so why is it so special? Here's where it gets interesting. Like most coins, the value of the 1980 Washington quarter is heavily influenced by its condition. A coin that has been circulating for decades will inevitably show signs of wear and tear, but a well-preserved coin that has remained in excellent, uncirculated condition can be a true gem. Collectors will pay a premium for these high-grade examples, and the price can go up significantly depending on how well the coin has been preserved. Now, let's talk about the potential for mint errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production of a coin. These errors can range from misprints to doubled dies, off-center strikes, and more. Error coins are highly desirable because they are unique, one-of-a-kind pieces that set themselves apart from the rest of the coins in circulation. If your 1980 Washington quarter has any kind of minting error, whether it's a double die or off-center strike, it could make your coin worth a lot more than its face value. These error coins can attract high bids from collectors, making them rare and valuable finds in the world of numismatics. But what really makes the 1980 Washington quarter stand out is how rare these uncirculated coins have become over the years. With decades of circulation, most of the 1980 quarters you'll find are in less than ideal condition, showing signs of wear from being passed around and spent. However, if you manage to find one that is in pristine condition, especially one that was never used for transactions, it could be a valuable asset for collectors. In fact, collectors and investors are increasingly on the lookout for these coins as they're becoming harder and harder to find in excellent condition. So, what's the big reveal? Just how much could a 1980 Washington quarter be worth? Well, if you've got a coin that is in top-tier condition, one that has been well preserved and free from the usual wear and tear, you might be holding on to something worth much more than a mere quarter. Coins from this era, especially those in uncirculated condition or those with rare mint errors, have been known to fetch impressive prices in the marketplace. Are you ready for it? If you happen to have an uncirculated 1980 Washington quarter with pristine quality or perhaps one that contains a rare mint error, it could be worth a jaw-dropping $180,000, that's right, $180,000 for a single 1980 Washington quarter. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Imagine finding that hidden treasure sitting in your collection or in a random box of coins you've stashed away. A simple quarter from 1980 could make you a significant amount of money, depending on its condition and whether it has any unique features. So, what should you do if you come across a 1980 Washington quarter? First, check the condition. If it looks like it's been well preserved and doesn't show signs of heavy wear, it could be worth a lot more than you thought. Next, look for any mint errors or unique characteristics, as these can significantly increase the coin's value. And finally, if you think you found a rare piece, consider getting it appraised by a professional to determine its true worth. Today, we're going to take a close look at one of the most fascinating coins in American history, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar. While most people view it as just another piece of currency from the mid-20th century, this particular coin could be hiding an astonishing value that might just blow your mind. If you have a 1965 Washington quarter sitting in your collection, you'll definitely want to stick around to find out how much it could be worth today. Let's start by setting the stage for the 1965 Washington quarter. The Washington quarter series itself dates back to 1932, designed to honor George Washington, the first President of the United States. Over the years, the coin has undergone several changes, but the iconic portrait of Washington has remained the focal point. By 1965, this coin was already a staple in American currency, and it was minted during a time of significant social and economic change. In 1965, the United States was going through a period of turmoil and transition. The country was in the middle of the space race, the civil rights movement, and President Lyndon B. Johnson's Great Society programs. Additionally, there was an economic shift happening, and the U.S. government was facing rising costs and inflation. It was during this time that the United States made a significant change to its coinage. 1965 marked the year when the mint stopped using silver in most of its regular circulating coins. The Washington quarter, which had been minted with 90% silver up until that point, was now being struck in a clad composition, a mix of copper and nickel. The shift was made to save costs and address the silver shortage that the country was facing, but here's the twist. While the 1965 Washington quarter is part of this mass-produced batch of clad quarters, it holds a certain rarity that makes it stand out in the eyes of collectors. Most of the 1965 quarters were struck in large numbers and spent quickly, which means finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is a real rarity. This is where the value starts to emerge. The 1965 Washington quarter is special because it was the first year that the United States Mint produced these quarters with the new copper-nickel clad composition, which makes it a landmark coin in American coinage. But beyond that, the condition of the coin is what really drives its value. Over the years, many of these quarters became worn down through regular circulation, with only a few surviving in near-mint or uncirculated conditions. As you can imagine, these well-preserved coins are much more valuable to collectors, who are always on the lookout for coins in exceptional shape. Now, let's talk about the mint mark. In 1965, Washington quarters were minted at two major U.S. mint locations, Philadelphia and Denver. While Philadelphia minted coins typically don't have a mint mark, those minted in Denver carry the D mint mark, which indicates the facility where they were struck. The mint mark on a coin can give collectors important information about its origin, and when it comes to the 1965 Washington quarter, this detail can affect its overall value. Coins from Denver tend to be more common than those produced in Philadelphia, but the true rarity is in the condition of the coin. Here's where it gets really interesting. The 1965 Washington quarter is highly sought after not just for its historical significance and mint composition, but also for its unique errors. Minting errors are a significant factor in the world of numismatics, and a coin with a rare minting error can be worth a lot more than one without. In the case of the 1965 Washington quarter, there are several types of errors that could occur during the production process, including double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks. If your 1965 quarter has one of these errors, it could dramatically increase the value, making it an even more valuable piece for collectors. So, what's the bottom line? How much is a 1965 Washington quarter worth? The truth is, it really depends on the condition of the coin and whether it has any rare characteristics or errors. A standard, circulated 1965 Washington quarter may only be worth a few dollars, but the value can shoot up significantly if you have one in mint or uncirculated condition. And of course, a coin with a minting error or unique characteristic can take that value to an entirely new level. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you're fortunate enough to have a 1965 Washington quarter in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, or even one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value of up to $190,000. Yes, you heard that right, $190,000 for a single 1965 Washington quarter. This may sound too good to be true, but it's not. Coins like this are incredibly valuable to collectors, and if you've got one in your collection, you may be holding a true treasure. It's hard to believe that such a small, everyday coin could carry such a high price tag, but that's the magic of the coin collecting world. With the right condition, rarity, and potential minting errors, the value of a 1965 Washington quarter can be far beyond what most people would ever imagine. So, what should you do if you think you have one of these rare and valuable coins? First, make sure to check the condition. If it's uncirculated and free of wear, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Second, look closely for any potential mint errors. If you find one, it could be worth even more. And finally, if you're uncertain about the coin's authenticity or value, consider getting it appraised by a professional numismatist to help you determine its worth. There's a world of hidden treasures in coin collecting, and the 1965 Washington quarter is one of those coins that could bring you a hefty reward. If you enjoyed learning about this fascinating coin and want to uncover more hidden gems in the world of numismatics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We've got plenty more valuable coin content coming your way. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.